Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So we got some groundbreaking news, and I'll say this one's a big one because we all remember James Guy Tucker Jr. or Jim Guy Tucker. He is Bill Clinton's successor and played a huge role in the very controversial Whitewater scandal, which almost took down Bill Clinton's very popular presidency. Clinton was also a pretty polarized figure also, but this scandal made it even worse. Scandal made him extra unpopular among some people. And Tucker, although he looks young in recent pictures, passed away at the age of 81. And in Little Rock on the... Was it yesterday? Oh, he died yesterday, if you will. Yesterday at Little Rock at 81. He is the former lieutenant governor of Arkansas. He was the lieutenant governor under Bill Clinton. And we'll go over that as time goes on. He was also a part of the United States House of Representatives from Arkansas' 2nd Congressional District and the Attorney General of Arkansas from 1973 to 1977. That said, no surprise here. Tucker has a lot of a big electoral history, but he is also a convicted felon. Tucker was convicted of 1 count of conspiracy and 1 count of mail fraud on May 28th, 1996. As part of the Kenneth Starr's investigation of the Whitewater scandal. So his conviction, yes, was brought upon in Whitewater. And do you think the Clintons had more in regards to the White House scandal and their possible involvement? I bet so. But of course, the justice system in the United States, thankfully it's getting better. Once we have the Department of Justice, I'm blanking on the names, but we know that is a said Trump Republican Attorney General. Oh yes, Pam Bondi. Never mind. Yeah, Pam Bondi is the Justice Department official, and she is dead down in trying to get that start prosecuting people that it deserves to be prosecuted, and I think that's ultimately what we want to see. But yes, so Tucker was tried with fellow defendants James B. McDougal and his wife Susan McDougal. The prosecution was conducted primarily by OIC prosecutor Ray Jan. Tucker chose not to testify in his own defense upon the advice of his attorney. Tucker received a lenient sentence of 4 years probation and house detention, in part because of his poor health. And it's actually surprising that he actually made it this far. He was placed on the Mayo Clinic liver transplant list in June 1996. He did not die in the Mayo Clinic, obviously. But it says here that beginning during his college years at Harvard, Tucker suffered from an autoimmune disease, later diagnosed as primary sclerosis chelantis, or whatever that is. It created severe liver problems, which seriously debilitated him and threatened his life. He had nearly died from gastrointestinal bleeding in 1994 and had steadily worsened since. So on Christmas Day, 1996, Tucker received a liver transplant at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. So obviously, he was a lot of people said, "Oh, he should have died a long time ago," and if now you're saying, he lived a very good life according to what he was expecting. And if you ever have an autoimmune disease or have anything that's threatening your life and you feel like you're not going to make a long life, just use Guy Tucker as your example. I mean, he lived till 81. It's a respectable age, and commonly where a lot of people end up dying at the age of 80. But it's obviously, I think Jim Tucker knew that his life wasn't going to last long when he hit his 80s. But we got to talk about that electoral history now. We have not talked about his electoral history. And I don't think there is a page of Jim Guy Tucker. Okay, there is no page. But what we can do is go from political career. We don't care about his participation in the DNC. What we want is specifically his electoral history. And that being the 1990 lieutenant governor gubernatorial election. Oh, yes. He's also ran for Attorney General of Arkansas. We're going to have to explore those offices. But, yes, we'll go ahead and see. Starting off with, let's say, Lieutenant Attorney General first. So, going to Arkansas. We can go ahead and look. And he was Attorney General in 1972. So looking for okay, or how? Okay, yeah, there we go. 1972. Okay, that's a bummer. We do not have a record showing that. But I believe, being heavily Democratic, the state at the time, which they vote Republican, big red wave in 1972, but big blue wave in state elections. Arkansas likely elected Jim Guy Tucker by over 60% for the Democrats. So, yes, it's important to note Jim Guy Tucker is a Democrat. The Democrats got him to 60%. Let's jump all the way to the next column, with that being, let's see, 1994. Okay, this is Governor of Texas, of Arkansas. Okay, this one's interesting. But yes. Well, I also want to take a look at the primary result. Is there a primary for Attorney General? Let's see if there is a primary. Democratic primary. Because ideally, I should be including the primaries also. No, there is not. We'll jump to Lieutenant Governor. And okay. There is a primary for Lieutenant Governor. But I don't, the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor, they run separately. And unfortunately, we don't have records on that either. Right when, you'll see in 1992, the Lieutenant Governor is sworn in as governor. And reason being, Bill Clinton was elected president. And this is when we really have actual records of Mr. Tucker's electoral history. We just have this map right here. 59% said say this county right here. Let's actually go here and take a look at 2022. Actually point out, you'll see right here, that's Benton County, just below very populated Washington County. I want to believe that's the biggest city in Arkansas. I'm not so sure, but it's pretty populated. Well, also, Benton's also pretty populated also. So, yes, uh, you'll see also a Republican stronghold, 61% today. And then there's Searcy County, 82% for the Republican nominee in 2022. It's a Republican stronghold, has been throughout Arkansas state history. Uh, it's what's keeping the Democrat from gaining every county in Arkansas. But that is interesting to know. But let's also see if there is any. Let's go ahead, see if there's any Democratic Party governor's race. 1994. Okay, yeah. This is the 1994 gubernatorial race. Oh, never mind. This is Republican. Nope, we want the Democratic. Okay, it looks like we don't have that either. How frustrating, isn't it? 1994. No runoff or anything, just Secretary of State, no governor. But anyway, that seems to be it. What happened to Jim Guy Tucker? Well, Tucker obviously had to resign because he was in big hot water, okay? Before this election, Huckabee was the governor. Interestingly enough, it seems that Jim Guy Tucker, he was removed from the said election due to of course, the implications of his involvement in the Whitewater affair. So, reading this, in the beginning of the race, it was suspected that Republican nominee incumbent Governor Mike Huckabee would have to face a hard-fought election. Huckabee had assumed the office of governor in July 1996 after Jim Guy Tucker resigned after implications of his involvement in the Whitewater affair. So obviously that's, of course, how it went. And because of that Whitewater affair and the scandal that erupted over there, Republicans swept the said the governor's race, which hasn't been done before. Like, let's go back all the way to Arkansas state history. You'll see Bill Clinton. Yeah, Frank D. White, he carried the governor's mansion barely. I mean, he ousted Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton got to serve 2 non-consecutive terms in Arkansas. But yeah, clearly looking here, you also got Winthrop Rockefeller, who he is more of a liberal. I would say he didn't blow it out, though, with a landslide. I would say he definitely had some obstacles. Maybe during the Reconstruction era, one may say. That's probably a more realistic take on it when a Republican blew out the Democrat. This probably was the biggest Republican landslide since the Reconstruction. So because of that very infamous Whitewater affair and Whitewater scandal, and the former governor being convicted over it. So what do you guys think? We have to say goodbye to a very historical figure. Very hard to do. But what do you guys think in regards to the governor, Jim Guy Tucker? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.